everyone. Welcome to the Punter's preview for round 13 of the NRL. Look, we've had some awesome success over the last 2 months, really, but again over the weekend, we tipped Sean Russell to score the first try at 17s, and then backed that up on Saturday night. We're tipping Stefano Utukamanu over $60 to 1 to score the first try. So 2 nights in a row, nailed first try scorer. Pretty juicy odds as well, which is great. What I'm going to do this podcast, because we've had we've had a lot of new people. I think we had like 300 or 400 people, maybe 400 people just over the weekend join our Discord. A lot of people asking questions about like, what is Wicky? How do we use the data tool? Most importantly, they're asking about, what's your favorite pick? How do we read the Punter preview? How do we make sense of all this? And there's only so many times I can tell you, copy paste the same stuff or answer your questions. So I'm happy to do that. But I'm going to start this podcast with about 5 to 10 minutes running through what our company does, how you can get the most out of what our company does, a little bit of an explainer, and I'll also chat a little bit about Origin, which obviously everyone wants to be talking about before I do a full-on Origin preview, probably next Monday, a couple of days out. So let's get straight into it. What you're seeing on the screen, if you just Google Wiki Linktree, you find what you're seeing here. It's got links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, everything, right? So even if you don't necessarily check out our stuff on those platforms, all the stuff that we do is for free. So we'd really appreciate it, obviously, if you could share our stuff to your mates and follow us on socials. It keeps us going. In terms of like the website itself, you can find that right here, wiki.ai. It's all right there. It's funny, AI is really kicking off with like ChatGPT and stuff nowadays, but we started this company 3 years ago. I wanted to look into sport data. I feel like Australia, there's not enough companies looking into sport data models, all that technical stuff. But what I realized is you can have all that stuff in the background, but the fun stuff is actually making sense out of it and finding good value plays and good fantasy and Supercoast decisions. And that's what we're going to be focusing on longer term. Let's get straight into it. So the website's here. At Discord, we've just hit 2,250 people, I think, today. You can join that for free right here. You can chat all things punting. It's got all of our plays. A lot of our plays don't make Twitter and don't make the article because it's like, bang, this guy's named at wing now when he was center before. He's double the price he should be. You got to get on right now. That kind of thing is all on the Discord, which I'll show you in a second. And getting into it, like you've got our Punter preview article, which I'll show you soon, our odds comparison tool. We can find the best price across 7 or 8 different bookies for first, anytime, and last try scorer. Our podcast, it's all in one place. We'll update that with round 13 Origin stuff in the next few hours. I'm doing this on a Tuesday night in Sydney. Just before I go into more detail, I do want to say, everyone, you're meant to say gamble responsibly, and I will say that, but it goes beyond that. I run this company because I love numbers. I love rugby league. I love fantasy and I love punting, but it is meant to be for fun. So, if you think, oh, we're going to hit Utu Commando at $6 or $7 every day, we're not. And 9 out of 10 punters, I'm pretty sure the stat is, or something like that, do lose money gambling long term. So if you are punting, do it because it's fun. Do it responsibly. Put an amount that you're happy to lose every month and play within that. And then you can have a whole lot of fun with our try score stuff, right? But if you're sort of like punting nonstop every weekend, 2 weeks in, you're going to get frustrated because you haven't hit an 81 to 1 or whatever. A, it's not fun. And B, obviously you can set some pretty bad habits, and I've seen happen to people I know. So please gamble responsibly and obviously join in the community, have some fun with it. And it should just be like fantasy and Supercoach, right? Where you're enjoying it and obviously backing a couple of winners long term. So let me get into it, guys. The Punters preview article. So I'll go into the fun stuff. Let me see. Rabbitohs Eels, this is how I do it. So this is the game, these are my plays, and this is why we like them. So Sean Russell, obviously, he did score the first try in the 3rd minute against the Rabbitohs. Paris smacked the Rabbits, shocked everyone, but bang, one on Russell. Why I thought that was really good, because he's on the other side to Sevo. So I get everyone wants to bet on Sevo. Everyone wants to get in the same game multis with Sevo. But look at the price, $3 just to score a try in time when Sevo was like $2 or less. Thought that was a bit off. A model agreed with me as well. And obviously, he's actually a really good player. Scored a lot of tries in the small amount of NRL games that he has played. And obviously, I did a TikTok about that and an Instagram reel, and that kicked off because Clarky from Facebook obviously shared it as well, which is amazing. But anyways, that was one. And then Utu Kamanu at 67 to 1. 61 earlier in the week, it got out to 67. And obviously, I wrote here my reasoning for why I liked him. One of the reasons was because the Cowboys pack is a little bit weaker. No Tamalolo, no Griffin Neem, and I think they're missing 1 or 2 others as well. and he did score the first try. Tigers put on 60 odd on the Cowboys. That was freaking awesome, hitting that on a Saturday night. I'll get into the odds comparison tool in more detail, but just very quickly, on a high level, the whole point of this thing is to get you the best price across, well, 7 bookies here. Sometimes we get 8 working, but anyways, it just shows you how bad sometimes like the value is when you're punting. If you're getting on Reece Walsh because you really like him anytime to try scoring the Origin, and you're getting on him at like 320, that's 50 cents less. Like if you're putting, $10 on that or whatever, you're getting $5 less than you should be. So just have a play around with that. I'll go more into detail on the odds comparison tool later in the video. But yeah, as I said, like this is just Origin. We've just created this as well. I'll share it everywhere. But anyways, I will break into that in a second. What I did want to talk about is our Discord. So our Discord, as I said, we've got 2,200 people on there. I'm really proud. A year ago, I think we had like 100 or 200 people on there. So it's really blown up, which has been amazing. The type of stuff that I put in there, I told you, it doesn't really make Twitter, or it doesn't make our article because it gets snapped up straight away. So this, as soon as you enter, check out this Wicky's try scorer picks. That's where only I can send messages. It's got that little like announcement thing over here as well. What I try to do here is when something amazing pops up, I tag everyone. So you get a notification that, hey, holy shit, there's a really good play here. You better get on soon because it's going to disappear. Funny thing is though, I've done this for State of Origin, found some really good prices, but because it's early, I assume a lot of the people that punt for fun don't want to punt on a game that's still 10 days away. So the prices are still around. And Tino, he scores a try one in every 6 NRL games that he plays. He's paying $15 to score a try in Origin. Like you're literally getting 2.5 times what he should be if you just went by his career strike rate. Yes, it's Origin. Yes, he's going to get less minutes, but that's just ridiculous. Also, ignore that FTS first try score 67. He's now on the bench. I wrote about that a bit earlier. I'll probably have to edit this post after this body. DCE again, like I think, or he scores a try before NRL games. Again, I know it's Origin, but 750 is just ridiculous for him to score a try anytime. Gagai, well, obviously that's void. He's not playing, so we got our money back on that. No stress. Trebojevic, same. He's not playing. Junior Bolo, like the Blues pack is obviously a lot different to what it was last year. He's going to be one of the senior members of the team. How the hell is he paying? Well, I don't know if he still is, but when he was paying $71 for a match, I thought that was awesome. Like him and Haas are 2 forward leaders in the front row, at least for New South Wales. I thought that was a really good price. But anyways, I'll scroll through. Oh, well, Elliot Whitehead. I tipped him to score a try anytime. I actually said in our group chat in value punting how good he's $41 was. One of the guys mentioned it. I agreed with him and then forgot to tip the 41s and it got up. So that was a bit heartbreaking, but at least I tipped the anytime try scorer, which is great. A little bit more. Oh, this was awesome. Tom Gilbert, news had broken that he's going to play on the edge. I said he could play on the edge and he was $15 anytime try scorer. That's still a decent price if he's playing middle with a little bit of edge. What happened? He's named on the edge. Capewell's dropped. $15 anytime try scorer is more than double the price he is now. $67 first try scorer. Again, it's around 1.5 to 2 times the price he is. So that's what we try to do at Wicky. We're trying to find the best price, find it early, let you guys know. And if you are going to cheer something on, instead of a 71 to 1 or 100 to 1 same game multi that should probably be paying double and you're getting ripped off, find something like what we're pointing out to you that's obvious value and cheer that on. And obviously we've got a whole bunch of guys that get on these value picks and it's a really good sort of like it's just a fun thing to follow because you're obviously following the same thing and you've got a way better chance than what the odds suggest. But anyways, I won't go on too much. There's a whole bunch of stuff there if you scroll around. Oh, Daily Cherry Evans scored 2+ at 101s. That's now into like 51 or 61, I think, or even less on most sites. And the best thing is I also can back it up with data from how often they've done it in their careers as well. But anyways, cool. I'm going to get out of that. So just very quickly, back to the odds comparison tool. So I'll use Origin as an example. Unfortunately, like the model value isn't meant for Origin, so I won't play around with that. But usually, if you trust these model numbers, which we do for the NRL in most cases, model value basically looks at what odds you're getting here. What odds you're getting at the best possible bookie, which is 15 at better, compared to what our model says. So if 15 I've sorted by the highest possible numbers. Green is good, red is bad. That should be obvious to everyone. If green is good, all we're doing is comparing the best odds to the model odds. And here we're saying bang, 15 is way better than the 11.25 that our model thinks it should be. Daily Cherry Evans, another one. That's super obvious. Like it's $7.50. That's way better than the $6 our model thinks it should be. And most bookies, you can see, most bookies have him at about $6. And obviously, yeah, a couple of bookies have him a bit above that. But yeah, this is just a clear value play here. So whether it's model, which is like looking at best odds compared to our model, historical value is just looking at the best odds compared to that player's strike rate in the NRL converted to betting odds. So just saying, all right, Latino, which is my other value play, he's paying $17 to score a try anytime. But if you look at his career and just use that as the guide, he'd be paying $5.50. It just shows you that $17 is more than 3 times the odds you would get if you judged it by his career so far. It is ridiculous. And market value basically says how much is that player paying at the highest odds at any bookie, so $13, and then compare that to the second highest, which is $8.50. So you can see here, Arrow's like the best bet according to a bookie stuff up. Look, like I reckon you'll get some time on the edge, and it actually is a bookie stuff up, so I'll definitely be getting on this. But this one's a little bit more like debatable, basically. Model value is the thing that I would use mostly. Two things it doesn't work for. It doesn't work well for rookies. Until you hit 10 NRL games, our model doesn't work well for rookies. So be wary of that. And the other thing it doesn't work for, when you go to first try scorers, it doesn't price middle forwards that well. So unfortunately, like Paddy Carrigan never scored a try in his career. 77s, I think, is not right. Like he should be actually close to that sort of $100 mark, I reckon. But the model's like not amazing for that. But it does work reasonably well usually for everyone else except for rookies and middle forwards, pretty much. But yeah, that's a really quick guide on how to use our odds comparison tool. As I said, pretty much the main things that you guys are using our site for at the moment is the punters preview, and I'll talk to you through that, you know, what it is and how to use it. Talk to you through a little bit about the odds comparison tool and how to use that. And basically, if you're making decisions on what to punt on, it's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm looking at the model value, I'm looking at the historical value, I'm looking at the market value, and then starting to make decisions on why do I like these plays. Because if I can't justify to you guys why I like these plays, well, I'm not doing my job right. And also I will say, like, there's a few that like sometimes I just say, oh, you know, like I reckon who's a good example here? So I might say that I really like paying Haas at 67s, and maybe sometimes the data won't necessarily back me up. But I think, yeah, if that is the case, I put that in the reasoning. I say straight up, like, hey, I just really like this guy at this price. Data doesn't back me up. I like his running style or whatever it is. Cool. That's it for the little summary in terms of what we do as a company, where you can find our stuff, running you through our Discord and how to use that. And also the punters preview, the odds comparison tool. I will just quickly say with the Discord, we've got 2 main channels. So value punting is where we try to pick off lines early for, you know, origin affected rounds, like the Raiders were, or the Broncos and Raiders were really good. Also, Warriors and Raiders were really good odds. Or the line was really good, sorry, and obviously we reacted to that a few days early. Or we try to talk about like value and try scorers. But if you're into same game multis and just having a punt for a bit of fun and discussing stuff, and NRL chat while the games are on, the NRL chat's kicking off. We're always talking about like changes in teams and all that kind of stuff. So that's probably the last 2 things to talk about in terms of the Discord. But that's it, guys. That's the explainer stuff. I'm going to move into the actual podcast itself now. So I'll move on from here. Let's start off with State of Origin. Let's have a bit of fun now. So I'm going to do a deep dive on Origin a little bit later, most likely on Sunday or Monday, a couple of days out. But what I thought would be cool to do is just look at the Origin teams. I know you've seen the headlines, but let's just quickly cover it. Like, I reckon there's a few shocks here. Walsh instead of Ponga. Well, what's the other one? Hammer instead of Gagai, which I think is ridiculous. I can't believe Billy's done that. What's the other one? There's another one. No Cook, no Damien Cook. And I think the biggest one, Tavita Pangai Jr. I reckon Freddie just watched that round of footy and thought, Jet Turbo's out. Pangai played well today. Bang. What the hell? Where did he come from? He's had 2 injuries this year already. He's had 1 good game and he gets a gig in Origin. I just can't believe what they're doing. David Fafita gets a starting spot. I reckon he's copped a lot of crap, but he's extremely talented. His attacking stats were always really good, and this year he's been really consistent. So I'm happy that he got a gig. Um, Tino on the bench, I think, is a little bit weird as well. I don't understand the whole point of picking Nico Hines. Like, I get it. You won the Dally M. Pick him at 5/8 or don't pick him at all. I think it's weird that they picked him there. I reckon Matt Burton was the way to go. Like, his kicks, right? Like his bloody bombs. Imagine that, like 65 minutes into an Origin game, he gets a couple of kicks late in the game. I think that would be insane. The other thing with Burton, he's actually played in the centers for Penrith and the Penrith connection. With Hines, you get, yeah, fullback and 5/8, but that's it. So yes, he can cover injuries. That's fair enough. But I think with Burden, you would have just gotten a little bit more variety. And I think Freddie's kind of like tried to do the right thing by picking the Dalian medal player, but I don't actually see what role he's going to have. Um, but yeah, aside from that, I think that's pretty much it. I've got to say, this game's in Adelaide, by the way, for those of you guys that don't know that. I think it's in Adelaide. I think Queensland have actually picked a different team to what we like. I think Ponga for Walsh, I really don't understand that. Like, Ponga, I get it, but like he's had these concussion issues and stuff, but he's back. Like he's been hot and cold. I understand that. But that's really ballsy to go in with Walsh and drop Ponga after last series. But what I really don't understand is Gagai. Like he's literally won man of the match and man of the series for Queensland. And you replace him with Hammer, who doesn't actually have a big frame. I really don't understand that at all. And I think the other problem is last year, I know Queensland won the series, but I remember in all the pre-game analysis and stuff, the big thing was Queensland's back three. Now Walsh, Cobbo, Taulagi. Taulagi and Cobbo are actually both decent. At least that's not like Coates and whoever else they had. But you got like To'o, Adokar, and Tedesco. They're going to go nuts in terms of meters. And I just don't know if Cobbo, Taulagi, and Walsh can match that. Walsh has class and creativity. That's awesome. But I just reckon Gagai, like he would have been huge for Queensland. And Taulagi playing in it, like Talon is playing a team that's struggling at the Cowboys as well, and so is Holmes. So, anyways, I just think that's really weird. But aside from that, I'll chat about Origin a bit later. I cannot wait to deep dive into that. We've got a really cool announcement to make. I don't know if I probably won't make it now actually. You guys will see it in the next 24 hours. But we've obviously been working with Clarky for and his Facebook group for this season. He's been helping us get more eyes on our stuff on Instagram and Facebook, which has been great. But we've got a cool announcement of another partnership that's popping up over the next couple of months that we're really excited about. Let's get into it. NRL games. I'm going to go through the teams very quickly because there's only 5 games, and I'm going to get into the odds comparison tool. So for the guys that are new and you want to know more about the tool and how you can find a lot of these value plays yourself, it's definitely worth sticking around. And I'll go into detail and I'll sort of explain things to you guys and in more, I guess, detailed way than I have in previous weeks because a lot of the guys are obviously using our site for a little while now and know how it all works. But let's get into it. So Dolphins, Dragons. The shock here is obviously Ben Hunt's gone off to Origin, but Laurie and Sewer are both injured, and Sewer's been playing great. He scored tries 2 weeks in a row. We tipped him to score a try about $7, $6.50 or $7 last week, and he did, and which is awesome. Obviously, we tipped that good winner there. No surprises with Dolphins. Kafusi's suspended for 3 weeks. Gilbert's got Origin, and Hammer's got Origin as well. So this should be a really interesting game. We're all waiting till when Valence Tavare gets to go. Hopefully he gets a gig for at least 34 minutes somewhere in the backs there. Aside from that, Joshy Kerr, my favorite, FTS second half. He's still around. I think it's $71 on Sportsbet right now. First try to score a second half. Keen to see how he goes off the bench. But aside from that, not too much else. That's Joe Offengawe, by the way. He's just come in from the Tigers to the Eels. Andrew Davey, concussion, he's gone. Maddo, I think he's done his calf, I think it was. And then Judy Bowler due to Origin. And then the Cowboys have 4 outs because of Origin. But Tamlolo's on the extended bench. Nimi's back from his injured throw. Luki and Leilua starting the back on the edges. Paris pack is weird. It's Wirby, Greg, Offengawe, Hopgood. Like literally at the start of the season, no one in their pack you would have expected to be there, except for obviously Hodgson because he was a recruit, and maybe Hopgood when he was named at lock and he had a really good start to the season. But anyways, makeshift pack. This game's gonna be interesting. Cowboys are like 16-point underdogs now, which I think is ridiculous. I reckon this game will be a lot closer than most people think, but we'll move on. Warriors, Broncos. Broncos are missing Haas, Walsh, Cobbo, Flegler, Carrigan. 5 big names for State of Origin. Yeah, the Warriors are missing Egan, but I think like they'll be by far the better team. And I think like the line's 7 or 8 points now to the Warriors. It's in New Zealand as well. Rabbitohs, Raiders. I was so keen on Raiders bets a few days ago when the line was, I think, plus 1.5 to the Raiders. But now Whitehead's injured, Hudson Young's gone to Origin, and only Murray, Arrow, and Mitchell are missing due to Origin. Cook didn't make the team, and Cam Graham could actually play and suit up for the Rabbitohs this weekend, which would be crap. I'll put him out because a few of us got on the Raiders early. Knights and Manly, again, another surprise. Kalen Ponga is in the team. Didn't make the Origin squad. Lockie Miller has been dropped to the bench. And for Manly, the Turbo brothers, all 3 of them, 2 of them injured, 1 of them off to Origin, with Cherry Evans obviously off to Origin as well. In terms of their team, you got Schuster, who played excellent last week. So did Garrick. So they're obviously in good form for Manly, but they're going to be big underdogs with that pack. No Jake Turbo, no Tom Turbo for a bit of class, no Cherry Evans to hold things together. That Manly team, I think, is really going to struggle against a Knights team, which is pretty much good to go, except for Tyson Frizzell, who's off to Origin. He's a really impressive player, but except for that, his side is essentially the same as last week, so I think they'll be fine. All right, guys, let's get into it. So I'm going to spend less time actually going through the plays this week, but more time actually explaining it, because a lot of the plays I'll actually be putting out on the Discord, on the Wicky Picks, Wicky Try Scorer Picks channel, and obviously eventually on the Punters preview. I've got a 6 a.m. flight going into state tomorrow, so I'm going to try to get as much done as possible tonight. And when I've got some time, probably on Thursday morning, I'll put together the article and put some reasoning in there and everything. But odds comparison tool. For everyone that's new, definitely watch the next sort of 5 minutes or so as I go through this. Let's go game by game. So the Finns and the Dragons, anytime try scorer. For the NRL games, the model value stuff works fine, except for rookies and middle forwards. Just be a bit wary. So model value, no one stands out at all. So I'm going to skip past that. Remember, model value is basically looking at the best odds possible compared to ATS model. That's all it's doing. There's no green at all. So 111. So like you want to see a number at like 120, 130, 125 is when it starts getting green. Here, what you can see is you're basically getting ripped off for most of these anytime try scorer bets on this game. So yeah, model, by the way, is like it looks at the who's playing who, the line and the total, the player stats, the team stats, all that kind of stuff. That's what our model looks at. So that's the price that our we're an analytics company. We do a lot more than just NRL and punting, by the way. But what it looks at is line, total, player, team, everything, venue as well. So when we look at ATS model, for example, let's take Rava Lava. Okay. So what the model says is looking at everything, considering they're playing the Dolphins, line and the total for that game, his career stats, his recent form, everything. Our model reckons he should be priced around $2.10. What ATS historical means, it's literally how many games has he played? Of those, how many games has he scored at least one try in? Because that's what anytime try scorer means. And then that's it. It just converts that percentage or those stats to betting odds to make it easy for you guys. So what you want to be doing is all right, well, Ravala is paying 230. The Wiki model thinks 210, so it's a little bit better than that. 230 looks okay there. His career strike rate is $1, like converted to odds $1.92. $2.30 is quite a bit better than that. And if you reckon the Dragons are in with a shot, then you're thinking, oh, this is actually a decent bet here. What you don't want to be doing is, it's $1.95, rather lava, winging for the Dragons. Yeah, let's get on. That's a horrible thing to do. At least have a look for the best price. You know, you might not have 365, but you might have Neds. So yeah, get on it, Neds, whatever it is. But what we're trying to do with this is just trying to minimize the amount of times you're getting ripped off. The least you can do is try to get the best price. And the next thing you want to do is look at historical value. So again, that's looking at, well, that doesn't make sense because he's a rookie who's only played the one game. But let's go so like a Tyrell Sloan, okay? He has been a really good try scorer so far in his career. He's the perfect example. Now, if you looked at his stats so far, he's obviously only played like 20, 30 games or whatever. convert his strike rate to betting odds, it would be around 240. He's got a lot of tries so far, right? Or he's had a lot of games that he scored tries in. But then our model understands the fact that the Dragons are outsiders to the Dolphins. So you can see there that the model thinks that the odds should be way higher than what he's done so far in his career. And then the reality is that most bookies have him priced somewhere in the middle. So here you're either saying, hey, look, trust Wicky's model, getting ripped off massively. I don't want to bet on Sloan. Or you're saying, hey, he's been a gun try scorer in the past. The Dragons I reckon they're on a high now after their win last week with that new interim coach. I reckon that $3.10 is juicy. It's way better than what he's done in his career so far. That's the way that you want to read them, like read this odds comparison tool or the OCT and start making sense of it. Market value. So Connolly Lemuelu plays in the second row on the left edge for the Finns. Most bookies have him at they have him at 320 or less. So you can see here, all market value does is look at the best bookie, so $4 here, compared to the second best, which is 320 here. And you can see that the green means that on one site, he's way better than the next. Every other example here is not that great. And yeah, I don't love any of these plays, by the way, for anytime try scorer. First try scorer up for Dolphins, Dragons. Let's go model value. Kenny Bromwich is playing on the edge this week, obviously because Felice Fufusi's out. Ned's having priced at $41 to score the first try. Our model says he should be closer to 30. He hasn't done it often, obviously, in his career. I reckon that's a decent play. I don't love it, but it is a decent play, and our model obviously likes it. Nothing else that our model really likes because there's no more green, remember? Historical value, a lot of rookies in here. Bird used to play in the back, so you can't take his historical stats fully seriously. Emma's on the bench, don't love that. Bromwich could be okay, but nothing special. Market value, again, pointing out Lemuelu here. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder why Lemuelu is so short on other sites this week. He's playing in the second row, but a lot of the sites have him priced like a back. They're really interesting. But yeah, 365 have him priced normally. So even though it's way better than other bookies, I actually still wouldn't play that because he's playing the back row. I just don't understand. Cool. So really nothing honestly really stands out for the Dragons Finns game. You can also sort it by like the highest odds just to see if there's any juicy first try scorer bets. But again, don't love anyone in this game. I think Herman SSA is okay, but I'd want to see him at probably 81s to get excited. So let's move on to Eels Cowboys. Anytime try scorer, model value. See, you remember how I said it doesn't do well with rookies? There you go. It's got Labert and Derby priced at basically incorrect prices because their first game, our model just doesn't do a good job of that, unfortunately. So I wouldn't be looking at their model value at all. Historical value, anyone stand out there? Don't love any of these. If I was to get on someone though, it would be Gashevsky. He's playing on well, he's played second row this year. We got Luki and Leilua starting in the second row, but if he does get 30 or 40 minutes, it will be on an edge, I reckon. So he's a decent shout, but I reckon there's a better way to play him. And then market value, what else here? Cool. So this is where it gets interesting. First try scorer, Eels Cowboys, ignore Labor, Derby the rookies. Offengawi, it's okay, but I don't personally love that. The one, where is it? There is definitely a play in here that I like. I want to try to find it now. I reckon Reese Robson's all right. Like most guys reckon Cowboys are going to get smacked, but 41s, actually, I like that price for first try scorer. If you looked at how often he's done it in his career and converted that to betting odds, be $21 for Reese Robson. Obviously, you do need to trust the fact that Para is strong favorites. I get that. But $41 on better for Reese Robson, first try scorer, I think is decent. The one I really like actually is Luciano Leilua on an edge, second game back after his break from the NRL for the first like 10, 11 weeks, or whatever it was. $41. That one looks decent for sure on Bet365. And then market value, Kashevsky. There you go. So Kashevsky is paying $67 for first try scorer. I wouldn't bet on that because he's on the bench. Last try scorer, Kashevsky, $67. He'll most likely be on an edge covering for Lukey, who hasn't played 80 minutes since he's been back. from injury, and Lucio Leilua is not going to play 80 minutes, or yeah, he didn't play 80 minutes last week. First game after 11 weeks, obviously, in the NRL this year. Amazing price. He's going to be on an edge most likely towards the end of the game. Incredible price. Easily, he should be about, or he's paying roughly 1.5, 2 times what he should be. There's a couple of others, but that's the standout play. So I'll stop there. Warriors, Broncos, anytime try scorer. Model value, again, a rookie. We've not priced that well, unfortunately. It's all right, we'll move on. No one really stands out here. Nope, no one stands out there either. And nope, so no great players for Warriors, Broncos, anytime try scorer. For model value, oh my god, Kobe Hetherington is one of my favorite NRL players to get on at small stakes for first try scorer plays at big odds, because he's just a trier, like a lot of effort, runs really well. Yes, the Broncos are going to be strong outsiders, unfortunately, against the Warriors with all their origin outs, but I actually like Kobe Hetherington at $101 to score the first try against the Warriors. If look, the Broncos still have Adam Reynolds and Ezra Mann in there, and if they are going to push early, I reckon Hetherington is like a really good bet. He runs low to the ground. He's pretty powerful. So, anyways, that's why I would like him. Neil Corey, actually, holy shit, Neil Corey, right side back row at $34 on Ned's first try scorer. I really like that as well. You can see here, our models priced Neil Corey about 28. Historically, he scores the first try 1 in every 27 games he's played, and you're getting 34s for Neds, where everyone else is priced at $29 or less. I really like that $34 for Neil Corey if that sticks around on Neds to score the first try. Historically, nothing really stands out. What I think is a great call here, if you look at market value, it's a really good way to find first try score second half bets. So for example, if you go here, first try score second half, just sort by highest odds. There you go, Corey Peaks. We had a bet on a value pick on him about 2-3 rounds ago for him to score 2 rounds ago. For him to score the first try in the second half at 67s or 81s, I think it was. And he scored 4 minutes too late. He ended up scoring the second try of the second half. But yeah, $67 is a pretty good price, I reckon, for Corey Peaks. And you can see here, every other bookie has him at $51 or less. He's the bench hooker for the Broncos, by the way. So we'll move on to the next game. Rabbitohs, Raiders. Start with model value. Ilias at 725. I think that's a pretty good play on Sportsbet. You can see here, I know he's young in his career, but if you converted his career strike rate to betting odds, he'd be around 550. Our model's got it just below $6. So I really like the $7 or $7.25 on Better and Sportsbet. Cam Graham, if he does play, $3 on 365, $3.10, sorry, on Bet365 to score a try anytime. Way better than other bookies. The next best bookie is $2.46 on Top Sport. Our model has him at 260. His career strike rate is 277. Whatever way you look at it, $3.10, Bet365 Cam Graham is a really good bet. He's been scoring tries for fun this year. I think it's 12 or 13 tries in 11 games, something ridiculous. Historical value. Now, this is going to be my favorite bet for this game, because I love a middle try scorer, as you guys would know if you've been following me for a little bit and following the work at Wicky. Josh Papaili, $9.25 on Sportsbet, $9.50 on BetR. Way better than other way better than other bookies, because sports are better, basically copy Sportsbet in most occasions. You can see here every other bookie has him like $6 to $7.50-ish. If you converted his career strike rate, converted that to betting odds, you'd be less than $5. Here you're getting almost double that in a game where the Raiders have a stronger pack than the Rabbitohs, with no Cam Murray and no Tom Burgess still. Really like that Josh Papali bet over here. And then market value, CHN, $6 stands out here. He's playing on the edge for the Raiders. I don't understand why models got him at $6.15. Historically, he scored at if you turn that into odds, it's $5.40. Every other bookie has him at $4.20 or less. If that left side back row with Hudson Young plays, you know that Wyden is a threat. And if he passes off to Corey, he is a good line runner as well. I really like that $6 on Bet365. For first try scorer, model value, AJ, holy shit, AJ at 875 to score the first try on Sportsbet. I like that. Not often that we bet on wingers, especially at odds less than $10 to score the first try. I might actually put AJ on there. Fogarty at 41s. I really like that as well. Fogarty at 41s and Corey Haraway Naira at 41s. There was another one, but I think it's gone. Yeah, it's gone. Papa Ely was 61 to score the first try for a little while there. Fortunately, that's gone. Wolford at 67s is another one. Sorry, I should say what site they're all on. So AJ 875 or 850 to score the first try on Sportsbet and BetR. Fogarty is 41 on most sites, to be honest. Cheekham is also 41 on a few sites. Harawira Naira, left edge back rower, taking Hutto Young spot. He's $41 on Bet365. He's 26 or less on every other bookie. And in his career, he scored the first try every 20 games. So really like that play. And Wolford, $67 on Neds to score the first try. So really good value plays there. Ilias, $41 on Sportsbet and BetR to score the first try as well. And market value points at Harawira Naira again. Points out guys like Wolford again as well. And then the last one, Knights and Manly. So don't love any model value picks for this game. Ben Condon. So I love Ethan Bullimore as a try scorer. Late in that game, Manly shocked the Raiders late on a Sunday for around 12 last weekend. Ethan Bullimore, I tipped him and went pretty big on him to score a try anytime. He almost busted through the line, like 5 meters out from the try line, last play of the game against the Raiders, but he didn't get over. He did offload to the guy to the left of him, though, which happened to be Ben Condon, who had just taken over. I think he just got onto the field and scored a try with his first play. So this is the best example of us calling out an obvious mistake here. So, and he's actually scored a few tries, I think, for the Cowboys previously. But look at that. Every other bookie, except for Sportsbet and BetR, have him around $7 or less because they probably know that he's a second rower. Sportsbet and BetR have stuffed up here. They haven't realized that, and they've got him priced around $11.50 to $12. Ben Condon. Better way to play, I reckon, is maybe small stake on ATS, but hitting up the FTS second half and LTS at the juicy price of, let's just have a quick look. I reckon, where is he? Condon 71, FTS second half on Sportsbet, and last try scorer Condon 61 on Sportsbet. So I would do a combination of ATS at 12s and then LTS at 61 and FTS second half at 71 on Condon with the second row, and hope you get sort of 20, 30, 40 minutes in the second row. And then I'll go out. Oh, also, people love betting on Olukwatu for Manly. Yeah, I know they're missing 3 or 4 pretty important players, or 3 important players, but $3.60 for Olukwatu to score a try. I reckon that's going to be a pretty popular play this weekend. Because it's not like Newcastle's a sure thing with the inconsistency they've shown. Lockie Miller, I don't think that's a good way to play him, but Neds do misprice backs on the bench, so have a look around for good odds there. Where this will get interesting is first try scorer. So our model likes Leo Thompson, but as I said, don't trust our model odds with middle forwards all the time. In this case, though, Leo Thompson's been really good for Newcastle, and Manly's missing Jake Turbo and obviously a couple of the stars, so I don't actually mind the $81 there. Other one, final on the left edge for Manly, $41 on Bet365 and Neds. The Leo Thompson 81 was on Sportsbet, by the way, first try scorer. What I really like, though, is Paseka at 101. He's been incredible for Manly the last few weeks. Really good price, $101 to score the first and the last try. 2 separate bets on Bet365. Bullimore, all things Bullimore, I am keen for. So just to clarify, first try, second half, Bullimore is paying $71. He has been playing the middle of the field, really good stats, really good minutes, and he'll get those minutes now with Jake Turbo out. And then the last one just points out market value for the last game, points out how good Paseka is as a standout. He's $101 on Bet365. He's $75 on less on every other bookie. So really like that Paseka standout play. But I think that's it, guys. So, oh, that was a lot. So just to clarify, this is just Google Wicky Linktree. You'll find what's in front of you. Follow us on social. Share it with your mates. We really appreciate it. Get onto our Discord. It's all here. All of my plays will always be in here. The little announcement. Wicky's Try Scorer Picks channel. if you want to try just chat try scorers and ask any questions, ask about value punting, and the rest of the channels are self-explanatory. So that's it. I think this might end up being the longest podcast that we've ever done. Hope it was helpful for you guys. Always go back to the start of this pod if you've got any questions or on how to use our stuff. Ask us on Discord. We're all ready to go for round 13 of the NRL and Origin Game 1. Gamble responsibly, enjoy the weekend of footy, and cannot wait for Origin 1 in just over a week. Good luck, guys.